Norman, how you doing? Thank you so much for including your written rationale as well as your examples. I've got your examples up, and I want to specifically refer to this example. I've got a couple of questions I'd like you to respond to in response to this video. So one of the things I want to talk about, well, I want to talk about color a little bit. I want to talk about placement and proximity, and I also want to talk about the headline. So one of the things that we've learned in the creation of effective infographics is to create a really compelling headline. I think one of our resources even said create a killer headline. So creating a very, very compelling headline is really important, and it really, really helps to draw the viewer in to the infographic itself. Not only the content of the headline, but the typography and maybe even associated with some color with that. My first question is this: what would you do to this infographic to increase the engagement of the headline? I'd like you to let me know if you would change the words, the typography, both, and would you add color? Also, number of electric vehicle models available to consumers in North America. I think that's a good tagline. I think that describes things. And that is such an effective, basically what you have here, you have two headlines. This could work as a headline, but again, it's not very visually engaging. So this is going to give you great leeway right here of really deciphering a really killer headline that's going to draw the attention of the viewer, draw them right into the infographic. So again, my first question is, what would you do? How would you change the headline in terms of verbiage, content, and of course, in terms of the presentation? Would you add color, and how would you change the typeface choices? The next thing I want to mention is the actual graph itself. Now, and I want to talk about the key and the graph itself. Now, right now, it seems, and we know based on proximity or placement, we know that placement, the principle of proximity in graphic design dictates that things that are placed in close proximity in the same composition have an inherent relationship to one another. Conversely, if things are not placed close together in a composition, then the viewer doesn't see them as an important comparison or an important relationship between the two. So my issue with this is the key is really far away from the actual graph itself. Again, my next and second question to you, in addition to the headline question, is what would you do with this? Where would you place it? And what would you do to it to give it a more obvious and apparent relationship to the actual graph itself? Okay. Then my third comment is that right now we're seeing that you've got the number 10 here. It's number 10, 0 to 60. Okay. And then you have 2008 to 2017. So 0 to 60 what? What is that telling us? To me, there's no information here. So basically, this is telling us, okay, so you have fuel cells, electric cars, and then you have battery electric vehicles. Now, my question is should this key be more explicit? Okay, should it be more self-explanatory? If so, how would you? The next thing I wanted to ask you is, would it be effective? And if so, how would you show something that we all know? We don't really all know about electric cars and fuel cells, electric cars, plug-in hybrids, and battery electric vehicles. We all know about combustion engine, right? So how could you compare this to a combustion vehicle so that we get a good comparison, so we know exactly how many plug-in hybrids and fuel cells as well as battery electric cars are out there? Do you see what I'm saying? So those are the three questions I have. So in essence, I guess what I'm asking is, how can you make this infographic more effective in terms of creating a killer headline, the proximity of the key to the actual graph itself, and how can we make this more relatable to those who aren't specifically familiar with fuel cells, plug-in hybrids, and battery electric vehicles? All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your work, and I'm looking forward to your responses. Thank you very much.